Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's a weekend and you are here ready to learn more. All right, I believe your purpose of learning more is so that you can do more for yourself and especially for your family. Please give yourself a big round of applause. Over the next 2 days, you can see there's many speakers. I really do not expect that you will really understand or agree or resonate with each and every speakers and everything we say, right? So I think objectively, I feel as long as probably you connect with one of our speakers, learn one thing, then one thing can help you make a lot of money, and that's more than enough. True or true? Okay? So every time when we sit through a seminar, personally, I like to think about what is my objective, why I'm here. We don't want to just sit through 2 days and walk out, and on Monday, we behave like the day we came in on a Saturday morning, right? So let's have some objective going. All right? I believe, property mega show definitely have to do with property. So we've got many speakers. So I'm the first speaker, so I'm going to talk about 10 essential principles of buying property. But this topic actually quite interesting and also not so interesting. The essential principle is to buy property that makes money. And of course, we all know a lot of other essential principles that we need. All right, so I'm going to take you slowly through the next probably 45 minutes or so. Okay? And then from there, maybe the next speakers or the speakers after can help to connect the dots. So this whole weekend, it's about connecting the dot. So please do stay with us through every session, through both days, because everything we say will be connected. Okay? Right. So I believe this cycle, okay? In this hall, in this auditorium, there will be people who are below 35 years old, right? If you are below 35 years old, yes, everyone should just put out a hand, right? There will be people like myself. I'm 43 now, all right? I already bought my first property long ago. But there will also be people who, their objective is not about selling. They only buy, they don't sell. They make their wealth from many other places. So particularly, different group of people we're talking to today, okay? When you are young, it's all about making that first property. It could be a BTO, HDB, condo, and stuff like that. But in the middle of part of that, we are all trying to we're trying to think hard how to own more property because it has become more and more difficult, largely because of ABSD, right? And loans. So that deter us from, other than working hard, making income, the other deter is also the taxation and the loan. So we're all trying hard, all Singaporeans, PR, we're all here trying hard to navigate this, all right? So eventually, I think for some of us sitting here, it's no longer about like making money. It's about preserving the wealth using your property, okay? So I would like to ask a very simple question, okay? If you buy a $1 million property, provided have after 10 years, you sell for $1 million, do you make money? No? Okay. Anyone? Yes? Yes or no? Yes? No? So the answer is yes or no. So I want to test everybody. All right? So probably the gentleman here say, buy a $1 million property, after 10 years sell $1 million, never make money, right? It's true. If you only, like every typical person, look at this thing called capital gain. But you must understand, within a property investment, there's always, besides capital gain, there's always this thing called cash flow. Think about it. You buy a $1 million property, you own it, you rent it out for 10 years. Isn't the rental a cash flow for 10 years? Even after you sell that $1 million property away for $1 million, which you wouldn't want to, I know. But there's another component here. The down payment that you put into this property 10 years ago eventually will come back to you when you sell the property. AKA, to me, it's like when you go to the bank, you put it with them, fixed deposit, later on you take with some interest. The capital gain is like your interest, okay? So I think we can get this thing start up correctly. And monthly installment, many first-time owner, they are always trying to lower down the monthly installment. To them, they look at monthly installment as an outgoing. But importantly, you must understand monthly installment, we call MI, is made out of P plus I, principal and interest, right? You pay down the principal, which is your own money left and right pocket, through the last 10 years. Eventually, when you sell the property 10 years later, the loan will be lower down. You take back the principal. Yes, the expenses will be the interest because you took someone else's money, right? So I just want to get this thing right. It's something very simple, but then one day I realized school never teach me. And then the way I look at property start to change. Of course, this can be very elementary to some of you, but this can be very important also to some of you, okay? So I'd like to go through that with you. So let me test you again, okay? Since you don't want to buy $1 million property, 10 years later, sell 1 million. Now I got one lobang. I got a Mercedes-Benz, 400,000. Cycle and carriage will buy back from you 10 years later at 400,000. Want or not? Hey, you want? Can you see there's something wrong with our thinking? Okay, now let me ask the question again. Cycle and carriage will buy back only at 300,000 after 10 years. You still want? You still want? Hey, 1 million, sell 1 million, you don't want. 400,000 you want. Can you see? We see things differently, sometimes wrongly. Okay? If you answered in your heart just now, there's something you must change. There's something you need to adjust moving forward in property. Okay. So one of the principles that I truly believe in is if you're sitting here, you're 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, I believe, 7, 8, or 30 years old, you're young, okay? You should always buy a property as young as you can. Then you're sitting there, of course lah, 废话, I think I don't want meh. Hold on. Before you say that, you have to really touch your heart. How hard have you pushed? If we are here today just to say that I don't want, no, today we are here is to train yourself to push it harder. Okay, how? I ask a very simple question. Typically, when do people buy their first property? Only when they get married? True? Only when they get married? I haven't get married, why should I buy a property? Only when I save enough money, which will never be enough. My friend, my own friend, only when I grow up. My friend, 43 years old, already same age as me, haven't grown up yet. He's still staying with the parents. I mean, growing up is optional, right? Doesn't mean you're 43 is grow up. There's no official thing, right? You think you are, you are not, you are. Just some people. My friend, 43 years old, still staying with the parents. Only when you reach 35, then you want to buy HDB single. So what I'm trying to say is, people only buy when they have a needs. Only when I have the knowledge. I will only buy when I have the knowledge. Actually, what knowledge do you want? That's why you're here, right? So importantly, for example, people say, Kevin, I only buy when I save enough money. You think I don't want to buy as young as I can, meh? Okay? Hold that thoughts. Now imagine I give you a time machine. You travel back to see the property cycle. You are here now. If you can travel back here, will you have worked harder to find money? The answer is yes, right? Maybe you will sell your children, buy the property, then make money, then redeem them back. You know what I mean? Maybe you sell both parents, go and buy the property. What I'm trying to say is, if you could travel back, you know 保价, you will work harder, you will ask harder, you will find harder. So what is work harder? Means you save more. What is find harder? You probably ask your parents harder. You know what I mean? I work so hard for what? I work so hard so next time my children can buy property. Actually, a lot of our customers, to be honest, at this 2024, we look back, these people who are in the 90s, late 90s, 2000s, they are like 20 over years old. A lot of customers actually, they have got funding from their parents who are like 1960s, 70s, who work hard, right? I mean, not everyone have. I don't have. Okay, what I'm trying to say is I do have friends, I do have clients who don't want to take funding from parents to buy. I'm not talking about a right or wrong thing. I really leave it to you. But I'm just talking about making money. Okay? So before you put that stop to say that I haven't saved enough money, you have to ask yourself if you could travel back. Because subsequently, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be here and you're going to look back here and this is going to be the part of the time machine. There's no way to look back. There's only a way to look forward. Okay? So, our objective here is today, we are not talking about your default. We're not talking about your default person. We're talking about how you could walk out today and have a design of how you can buy a property in the next near future. Maybe 5 years, maybe 2-3 years, or even 10 years. I don't know what you're doing. But the difference is, I believe with this, you would have hit this target definitely faster. Why do we want to buy as young as we can? A very couple of practical things. When you're young, you definitely, not indefinitely, but definitely you have lesser commitment. Maybe you got no children. Maybe when you're young, you don't have a car loan yet. Maybe, you don't have so much commitment. When you're young, you can take higher quantum. Because after you pass 35 years old, only you think you are wiser, but the bank unfortunately don't think so. You can get a longer tenure. And I find this interesting because there's this thing called SSD, seller stamp duties, which takes 3 years. Logically, you think about it. When you clear earlier, can you clear more rounds? Without talking about money, you can clear more rounds. Clearing more rounds will give you in and out more opportunity, right? Okay? So, I just want to give you a very simple example. I feel some of you understand, but doesn't mean you really, really got it. Do you know what can a car loan do to you for the younger folks? A person without a car loan and a person with a car loan, the loan that you will get is a drastic 40% different. I mean, this is regardless. Wow, today can buy a property at 488,000. It's regardless. You're just doing math. With or without sets you back on your buying power 40%. Of course, 400,000 he chung. 1 million he don't want. It's very common. Okay? So let me get back to the original point of view. We are here to train our friends here, our clients. All right? To share our knowledge with our clients. Right? To make you see things that we see. Okay? Right. And also, one very important point is, as you go down your age, the loan tenure actually affects the monthly installment. And the monthly installments actually affect the earning that you need to do. With the same amount of loan, later part of the age, you actually got to make more just to loan more. So that is affecting a lot of people. Because the installment has to go up. Because the tenure has to be shortened. Okay? So, anyone want to do a business with me? I put in 75%, you put in 25%, but all profit goes to you. Okay? Can we do the business? Oh, you say, I want to do this business. Best business, no? You put more, I put less, but profit go to me. Yeah, you want. But why are we not quickly securing this business with the bank? Which they only give you one chance. They put in 75, you put in 25, capital appreciation all goes to you. Isn't this the best business? Stop looking at a $1 million property with $1 million cash. You don't need $1 million cash. You only need that 25% plus your miscellaneous, your stamp duties. Yes, off will give you 30%. But you're going to use this thing called other people's money to help you achieve that. What is other people's money? Everyone here put money in the bank, right? The bank loan your money to that person with the interest rate, right? And give you a very puny interest rate, right? That's called other people's money. What's other people's time? Everyone go and work hard to make the money put in the bank using other people's time. So I think it's that leverage that you must understand that is available. Of course, I am mainly talking to the first timer. That's for my session. Right? For the rest of you here who already used up your first loan, you think I don't want to get more loan, meh? That is totally a different story. But you are also at a different stage of life. Okay? So, I have another theory. I feel it's always about buying as big as you can. Then you'll be thinking, of course, but you think about it, no. When a lot of my friends, they start to buy property, their thoughts are always, better be conservative. 头不要这样大. Buy within my means. Lower down the installment. You know why must buy as big as you can? You all saw just now that graph of the profit, the graph. That profit is multiplied by something. It's multiplied by a size, isn't it? I mean, a $500 increase in per square foot must be times something, then equal something. So size matters. Can I share a very personal thing with you? Is it okay? Okay, then I share next year. Is it okay I share something with you? Okay, thank you. I share a personal experience, okay? Personal experience. I'm 43 now. I bought my first property at 26 years old. Okay? 26 years old. I was lucky. Why? I tried sales as a real estate agent. As a real estate agent, not bad lah. Can make not bad money lah. You all know lah. Not bad money. So I was lucky to have a good work, a good business that makes money. But I was also lucky that I changed my mindset. If not with money, I still wouldn't buy because I haven't get married. I haven't have knowledge. So it's both things, you see. So lo and behold, I bought a landed property as a first property at 26 years old. Trust me, I 3 day, 3 night cannot confirm. Okay, later I tell you more. So I bought a landed property when I was 26 years old, all in. Okay, that landed property back then, let's say I show you the caveat. I went in at this price. I went out at this price within, say, about 1 year time frame. Within 1 year, the capital gain was probably about $500,000. Hey guys, at 26 years old, you make $500,000. You like win World Cup, like Olympics. But some of you are looking at me like that. I know, I so lao. I thought I was so smart but that's not the story. I exited out at 1 year later at 2.85. I thought I was very smart. Wow, today the buyer who bought from me sit until today. Each time I need to drive past there, I detour. I don't want to drive past there. But what I'm trying to tell you is, ladies and gentlemen, based on today's transaction for this house in that area, it's about 3,000 per square foot. I give you discount 2,005. The one that I bought, land size is 3,276. Can you imagine I bought smaller? I bought just 2.5. The difference between 2.5 and 3,276 is 776 times the profit is almost a difference of $2 million. So size matter. Not just landed, condo, got size or not? Size matters. Again, we're talking about an intention. We are not talking about, you think I don't want, man? Okay, if you want, good. In case you can, but you don't want. Okay, in case. So, I give you a breakdown of this mathematics that how I see things okay? The capital gain from this transaction within 1 year, as you can see, is about, say, 600,000. At that point, the average rental was 3,000. My monthly installment was 5,005. Actually, I got a negative cash flow of 2,005. Whoa! So I say, not just capital appreciation, cash flow. So my case, I got no cash flow. Landed no cash flow. Okay, but would I? Wouldn't I? Okay, so I got zero cash flow, but I got 630 of capital appreciation. But importantly is I call this thing a capital build up of 440. Why? This is my down payment. Okay, and my installment that I paid, less my P that I take back, Most importantly, I have back a total firepower of 1.1 million. You see the math here. Okay, each time you go in, you come out, the objective is to come out with a bigger firepower. For what? For the next property. Property investment is about in and out. It's never about in only. If in only, it's just called paper profit. Only when you come out, then you will get the money and you go to another platform which probably can run faster. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm a car guy, so we talk about Porsche 911. From a Carrera S, you jump to a Carrera GTS, faster, right? Then GTS, you jump to a GT3, it's faster, right? So it's the same thing, but this is a different mechanism. All right? Okay? So, just checking in. So far, so good. Right? Good. We're just getting started. First speaker. Okay, hang on. So, importantly, it's the in and out. But I know you're thinking, hey, but Kevin, isn't it there will be transaction costs involved? Yeah? Agency, stamp duties. No choice. This is like you want to go to the best club in Marina Bay Sands, you got to pay the entrance fee. This is the cover charge. This is the cover charge to the game. Okay? So, the question is, I want to share with you. You may think that, wow, quite handsome lah. You are at 26 years old, quite kiang huh? But do I have fear? Confirm. I have fear of losing my money just like everyone else. But the thing is, I realize a lot from my rich customer. They have fear, but they manage their fear and still take action. They never let their fear stop them. And importantly, yes, you go work hard, make your money, but importantly, you also must go to have knowledge. So with knowledge and money, definitely then it's about action. I don't know which is the element that you're short of, but definitely we are all here because we are fighting hard for this journey of property wealth creation. Okay? So I have another theory. I like to buy things on an upper class. Not high class, low class, don't misunderstood me. We are Singaporean, we are PR, we know classes of property, right? Last time you flip straight stamp also got classification, right? So HDB is a classification, landed is a classification, condo is a classification. How many rooms is classification? OCR, RCR is a classification, right? So there's classification, right? So we always push for higher classification. That's my theory, okay? And of course, today, you are sitting here, I don't know which classification you're talking about, okay? And it can be a type, it can be a district, it can be a model, it can be a region, okay? And then there is this theory, buy near MRT. Can I show your hands who think must buy near MRT? Okay, very normal, right? Have and don't have lah. Have and don't have lah. But I felt maybe we can take a look into it, okay? Buy near MRT. We did a case study, okay, over about 48 projects from 2011, but this project TOP within 15 to 20. It is true from the study, of the broad-based study, less than 5 minutes to MRT has a better upside than more than 5 minutes to MRT. So statistics on the broad base is proven, yes, stays near MRT is good. But I also have to remind you, you must understand the entry point of MRT is also higher. You also pay a higher entry point. But the results here, yes, is the growth rate of the line, which obviously proves MRT has a higher growth rate. But you must also understand, okay, it also has a higher gap for you to go in. All right? Another theory that I have is I always buy project that is bigger. Of course, your big and my big is all very different bigs. Maybe I give you my context. Okay? Project that is big to me is 800 units and above. Today, we have projects more than 2,000 units, right? Project that is less than 300 units to me today is considered a smaller project. Okay, mid-size, very simple, in between, or say maybe 500-600. Okay, so it is also from a study, right, of property in RCR and OCR that we show you that big project eventually have a better growth rate. But of course, when you go to the individual project, I think it may have effects on the individual project, but we always use a broader base data to look at things. Okay, one of the very layman idea about why big projects have proven higher growth is, you see, how do you make money from a project? It's only when there is transaction. Just like a stock. No one buy, no one sell, the price doesn't grow. A big project has got more people living there, yes, maybe the facilities will be more people, but the transaction volume will definitely be higher. And when there's transaction volume, to me, that's important because that is growth. That is going to push price growth. This is, of course, on a broad-based discussion. Okay, so near top schools. How? Must buy near schools or not? No kids got kids also think must buy near school, right? Because it's a very Singaporean thing, right? Okay, but let's look at it. Okay, it pays to invest in a place near popular school, says Straits Times. Tengah homes will appreciate because ACS going to Tengah, So schools has an effect on how people buy property. And recently, of course, a couple of years ago, they moved the center line to the fence. All right, so that's one small changes. So it affected some property because some property from not within one click now become one click. Okay, I'm not going into the one click thing with you. I think if you got a child, you'll be an expert. My child just went to primary 1, so I went through this recently. Okay, so I give you an example. You talk about 2 projects in Ang Mo Kio, say Panorama versus Central Residence, which is right smack in front of Ang Mo Kio Hub. From the stats, you can clearly see at the end of the day, Panorama writes out better than Central Residences, which is nearer to MRT. So is it true nearer to MRT really makes more money? Yes and no. Statistics shows you yes, broad-based, but for this case, probably because of the higher entry price of Central Residence. All right, and importantly, I feel at that point, how come panel writes out better is because it's 1 kilometer to a good school, right? That is just opposite the condo. And subsequently, after a couple of years, they also have an MRT nearby called Mayflower. Okay, so if you look at the stats, which I didn't show you today, you will see Panorama overall has got lesser unprofitable deal, more profitable deal, besides better growth rate, where Central Residence has got lesser profitable deal. Okay, so MRT effects can be important, all right, but sometimes you also overpaid for the MRT effects. But schools-wise, okay, sometimes may also not have the effect when you overpay for the effect. Why? Okay, let's look at this again. Somewhere, say near this place, Holland, everyone goes to a Nanyang primary school. Okay, you can see obviously blue lines go higher, the dark blue line, because it's Leiden residence. It's 1 click Nanyang, where the rest are not. So when you're near to a popular schools, right, it does have an effect, but it's always also important to check the entry price. Okay, you need the effect, but you have to judge whether how much are you paying for the effects. We did a study of about 160 projects over 10 popular schools of 1 click. This graph shows one thing, actually about the same. Not much benefit on a broad base. The entry price is different, outside 1 click I sure cheaper. But can you see the gap? actually they are moving. At the end of the day, the growth rate is about the same. Recently, I had a unit for my clients, a very good friend of mine that helped her to bought Liden Green, one click Nanyang. Okay, it's too early to talk about price growth because there's TOP. I believe there will be, but there's also something unforeseen. TOP 6 months later, then we managed to rent out the property. From 5,500 rental expectation, or in the end, rent out how much? 4,000. But sometimes property investment, you cannot be too careful. It's also not so much, it's hard to predict. As much as you want to sit on to a session like that for 2 days, look at statistics, but sometimes it's not always about statistics. There are a lot of factors involved. But the base of it, the Liden Green, I feel, number one, importantly, the entry price was correct back then. The premium to pay for being near the Nanyang Primary School, it's okay. But lo and behold, we did expect recently the rental to go slump, right? So importantly is what? Is holding power. Okay? So one of the criteria here, it's about rentability. When you buy a property, you must also ask yourself, okay, first, for investment, then you got to ask yourself, who are you going to rent out to? Own stay, you also need to ask yourself this question because it still affect the whole overall, right? So having a catalyst nearby, a workforce nearby, it is something very important to me. Okay? And I can share with you some stats. These are popular districts that has done well in the last 1 year, 9, 10, 15, 19. Okay? They have shown to done more transactions, right? 8,000, 7,000, 6,000, 6,000. The transaction volume, it's healthy there, right? So people are renting from there. Okay, you can take it with a pinch of salt. It's just a data for you. But then, since you say District 10, wow, good transaction volume, then how come my that listing 6 months cannot rent out? Sometimes it's not cannot rent out. It's at that time, TOP, there was an influx of property from every owner. Definitely, in the beginning, you probably take a hit. I believe in the next, after this lease of 1 year, that eventually will recover back when the things settle down, right? So you got to learn how to manage this fear from you. Was my friend Kanchong? Wow, Kanchong? Yes. So I have to manage this. Okay, it's a long-term thing. All right, I think end day, it's all about holding power. Buying a property is all about holding power. Okay, and when you have holding power, I feel that is the most important thing to write through. Okay, I feel when you buy a property, you also got to understand this theory called it must be as resellable as possible. I mean, who is going to buy from you next time? Whether you own stay or investment, you have to ask yourself this question. Your entry at this price, you have a projected profit. Who are going to buy from you next time? So I give a very typical example. I like area where there is a catalyst, there's a series of projects like clustered together. And in Singapore, it's not new. We've been through. Tampines, yesterday night I dropped a friend off Tampines. Wow, now Tampines is all one whole row of condominiums. It's the same effect. Okay? So eventually when there is a cluster of projects, there will be higher land price subsequently. There will be potential upside because the next land will always sell higher. There will be a first mover advantage because you go in first. They let the rest push you up. There will be importantly transformation because if you look at just now this area called Lentor, okay, this whole area here is just part of this number 1 over here. In the future, there's still number 2, 3, 4, all this coming up in the bigger future. So these are projects that I like, projects that I feel has got a catalyst to prove potential upside, first mover, and there's lots of transformation. And I feel there's one more very interesting point. It's always sell your properties. I feel a lot of clients or my friends, they don't sell their property. They are emotional of it, which is okay, sentimental of it, I understand. But if we're talking about how to do property wealth creation by squeezing it, it will never come true if you don't sell your property. Selling your property, it's in a way called releasing your property. Releasing the money that's stuck in. If I don't sell, the money will always be stuck in. Yes, very simple. I don't sell, I hold until today. Yes, it's a very good idea. It's a very good idea. But for the learning's sake, the money will always be trapped inside. You need to sell in order to release the money. If I may quote you an example, a project called Caspian. When they bought it, it chong. But over the last probably 10 years, the property is a bit stagnant. So if the owner there release the property, take the profit, jump into another condo that is on the growth, isn't that 10 years of doing nothing becomes earning money? So you have to monitor your property. Not all properties will just keep riding. How can you monitor? I mean, you as a consumers, you can always pay money and subscribe to whatever vendor out there. But for ERA, all our agents have a in-house app called Sales Plus that is available for them to show you, to update you data, growth rate at a fingertip. All 9,000 over agents have this. Because as a company, we believe in this and we invest strongly into our technology so that our agents can be capable to give you data. And today, it's not just about need 2 days to go churn out data. It's all inside their iPad, their phone, and it's very quickly, they can send it to you immediately to keep you updated. So you have to work closely with your agents to look at your property review. Property is not something you buy and then you forget about it. You need to review. If you do review your insurance plan, your investment link, you also need to meet up with your agents to review. Really, that's important. Okay? I think with all being said, I am a believer also on just buying what you like. Sometimes, 人算不如天算. You 算, you know what I mean or not? It's really about buying something you like. Okay, but you gotta manage that. Cannot be, Ming is a good deal, the agent can prove to you entry price is good, there is a good exit strategy, there is good schools, good MRT, the premium is okay, but then you didn't like the color. Okay, so you gotta manage that. Okay, sometimes you gotta go and overcome what you don't like. Okay, so as the first speaker, I will keep it short. Alright, so my name is Kevin. I am on all social media, which I like to connect with you, but most importantly, ERA as a company, trusted by generation in Singapore for more than 40 years. We also want to get connected with you. So we have a lot of our social media here, which our team at the back end are doing research, article, different stats that we share online. So if you want to follow us, which you should, that will be another great way for us to get connected with you. Okay, so I hope you had a good first session with me. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys shortly. Thanks.